Make a bag tag. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this in the simplest way possible. I'm just going to make a rectangle with some text on it. Hopefully yours is more creative than mine. So I'm going to click the sketch button here and sketch on that top face. In fact, actually what I should really do is practice best practices. I'll say finish, and then I'll actually go in and delete that because I made a mistake. In Fusion, technically the first thing you should always do is say that you want to make a new component and then give that component a name. So this would be my bag tag component. That's also the name that my object will have when I go to 3D print it. So it's nice to name it first things first. So I made a new component, named it bag tag. Now I'll go in and create a sketch. I'm going to just make something simple. I'm going to make a rectangle with a hole in it that has my name on it. That would be the bare minimum thing you could do to meet the project requirements. So I'm going to make a center rectangle, right? And that lets me draw out from the center. I think the maximum I said your thing could be was 2 by 3. So I'm going to just make it the maximum. 2 by 3. And then hit enter, enter, enter. We're locked in. Okay. Now, I don't know why it didn't constrain those sides. We can always just come in here and say 3 and come in here and say 2. Okay. So now that my object is perfectly constrained, I do need to fulfill the requirement of putting a hole on there. So I have found through experimentation that the chains that come with the PLTW kit have to be, I believe, at least 1/8 of an inch in diameter for the chain to pass through them. Let me confirm on my last design to make sure I don't tell you lies. So let's go to this design. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch is the magic number. I'll go back to that sketch that we were making here. So now that I've got my 1/8 of an inch hole, the other requirement is that we constrain the distance from that hole to the edge has to be 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to say that is 0.25 plus, and we're going to click on the diameter of this circle and divide it by 2 because we just need the radius. So diameter divided by 2, and then that gives us, so that this hole is 1/4 of an inch from the edge of our tag. And then the next step after that, I have to go in and add my text. So I'm going to go in real quick. Actually, I'll do the text second because it'll be even simpler to do it this way. So I'll say finish sketch. Oh, I didn't constrain everything. Let me go figure out what I didn't constrain. I constrained the diameter. Oh, I didn't constrain the position this way. So I can go in and say that it is from here to here. 1. Done. Okay, fully constrained. So the next thing I need to do is extrude my sketch. I'm going to click on this tag. I'm going to say that I need this to be extruded 1/4 of an inch thick. That seems like a happy thickness. That's actually kind of too chunky for me. I'm going to go back and change that to 1/8 of an inch. That's a happier diameter. Okay, the only thing left is to add my custom feature. I'm going to make a new sketch on the face of this tag, and I'm going to go ahead and create text, and it's going to tell me how text works, and I'm going to show you how text works so I don't have to do anything. I don't want that to go all the way to the edge. I'm just going to go and make a text box like this, and then on this sample text box I can say like Mr. Cameron's super cool bag tag. I don't know why it's not showing all my text, probably because I put too much stuff here. Well, let's see if I change the height. Well, Mr. Cameron is about all it wants to type. That's good enough for me. I did a license plate on my first one. If you can't fit everything you want into the text box, you can always say that that's one box of text. And you could always go ahead and create a new text box. And then for this one, I'm going to make it say bag tag. I don't know. You can be more creative than me. Please be more creative than me. Let me put it that way. I'm just giving you an example. This is probably the lamest example I've ever seen, but it fits the requirements. So there we are, showing you how to do the bare minimum. All right, so now that I've got my text as a sketch, I say finish sketch, and then the only thing I have to do left is I have to extrude that text so that you can actually see it. So I click on my text. I'm going to say that I want that to go out 1/32 of an inch. Perfect. Now I have a beautiful tag that's ready to 3D print. Let me show you how to 3D print this beautiful tag, and then you're ready to go. So what I do when I'm ready to 3D print this thing, I have to go up to File, 3D Print. I click on the object I'm going to print. I make sure it's in millimeters because 3D printers don't understand the inch system. You have to put it in millimeters, even though we did the whole project in inches. And then say OK. It's going to ask us what we want to name this thing. I want to make sure this thing is named Bag Tag. And then save it to a good place, probably in your Google Docs folder, so that you have a way to get to this later and you don't lose this if your computer explodes. And then you say Save on my drive, and maybe make a new folder for PLTW, where you can, I'll make this PLTW projects, say create, and then drop my bag tag file right in there. If you do that, make sure you also save this. This is project 1.2.6, Charmed I'm sure, or bag tag, or whatever you want to call this thing. Say save. I've got the 3D file. I've got the file for the 3D printer. That's the whole project. You make it look how your sketch looks, but those are the ways that you can customize this with text, add a hole, extrude the whole thing. Life is good.